Welcome back to the Empire Builders podcast, and I'm Dave Young, and that's Stephen Semple over at the other microphone. You may not be able to see him if you're listening on a podcast. That makes sense, doesn't it? Um, so the only clue he gave me as the countdown timer started to what this episode is all about is he said gives you wings. I'm like, well, obviously we're going to be talking about Red Bull. Is that I didn't miss that one, did I?
No, you got it right. Isn't that
Okay,
amazing how powerful that is?
gives you wings. Yeah, I mean, we tell people all the time, that's just branding,
Yep,
right? That's just becoming known for some things, right?
yep.
And the longer you do it and the more consistently you do it, the easier it is for people to know you by a slogan, gives you wings, or ba 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 ba, right?
I'm loving it.
Just a few notes, and now all of a sudden, 60, 70 years of advertising is rolled up into 5 little notes in your head that brings back all those associations. So, Red Bull, man, they're everywhere.
Well, and they have not changed their advertising in 20 years. Like the
Mhm.
whole using the drawings and it gives you wings. They have stuck with that for over 20 years. So when you say doing it over and over again, here's the other part where I got to give them real credit on the gives you wings. I could see somebody going, yeah, but it doesn't give you wings. We all get it.
That's magical thinking. Come on.
Magical thinking, and that's why it's powerful. And then
Mhm.
the other thing they did is they misspelt wings. They have the extra I in there.
Never even noticed that.
Yeah, and the reason why they did that is it makes it trademarkable.
Okay. So the chicken wing places can't, infringe on them, right?
Well, if something's a common phrase, you can't
Yeah.
prevent other people from doing it.
Okay.
So they do that little thing, and he said you hardly notice it. So there's a bunch of little clever things that they've done.
Well, take us back to the beginning.
I just wanna talk to you about how big. In 2023, 12 billion in sales.
Man.
But to date, they've sold 100 billion units, 12 billion in
Yeah,
sales last year. And you think
so
about it, they really have one product. Like, sure, they got a sugar-free one, and every once in a while they do some seasonal ones, but pretty much they're one product.
it's caffeine.
Yeah. And it's these little 8.4-ounce cans,
Uh-huh.
and it actually started in rural Thailand.
Okay.
I'm gonna butcher this guy's name because it's a Thai name. I don't know Thai, but it
Mhm.
was a pharmacist, Chaleo Yovida, I think is how you pronounce his name. And again, I may have that completely wrong. But here's the deal.
Okay.
He's a pharmacist. He has a pharmacy, in urban Thailand, and it's 1976. And what he notices is there's these energy tonics coming from Japan, and they're really popular in the cities. And he grew up in a poor rural area, and he notices these imports are kind of expensive, and he decides to make his own version of it. And the first name of it is Red Gower, which is wild cow. There's these cows, these wild cows in Thailand that have kind of this reddish color to them. And that's
Okay.
the first name of the product. And today, it's pretty much the same formulation with a little bit of sugar, and the early version wasn't carbonated, where now the new version is carbonated, but it hasn't varied much from the original version. And what he's doing is he goes out into rural Thailand and he starts giving away the product to truckers.
Mhm.
Right? So he hangs at these truck stops. He first thing he does is he starts giving away bottles of this product. It was originally bottled.
Classic, street drug dealer business model.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. And and recognizes,
Yeah.
truckers are working these long hours and all this other
Yeah.
stuff. So
First one's free,
that's
baby.
first
Uh-huh.
one's free. He starts giving it away and it starts catching on in popularity. Now, he also decides to do this. There's a really popular sport in Thailand called Muay Thai, right? Which is basically, you find it today in MMA fighting,
Oh, okay. Okay,
right?
okay.
And it's everywhere in Thailand. So he decides to sponsor a bunch of those events.
Mm. We're already seeing the business model.
We're already seeing the
Samples,
business models. Samples.
samples and high performance sporting.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Now here's where things get really fun. Enter Krating Danang, okay? And he's visiting Thailand. So his job is he works as an international product manager for shampoos and toothpaste.
Okay.
And he's kind of bored with his job. And he's an interesting guy. He took 10 years getting his degree, and he says part of the reason why it took him 10 years to get his degree because he was having too much fun at university.
Mhm.
So he's kind of this fun guy, and he's this international director for shampoo and toothpaste, and he's kind of bored with his job, and he enters a drugstore where he sees this energy drink,
Okay.
and he tries it, and he's like, "Wow, this is pretty amazing." And when he returns home, he decides to read about energy drinks, and he sees that they're only in Asia, and he decides, "I wanna bring this to the West." And he goes through his list of suppliers, right? And he
Mhm.
discovers that the guy who has this energy drink is on his supplier list. Because remember, he's also a pharmacist, has a pharmacy in Thailand.
Okay. Yeah.
And so he calls him up and says, "We should do a partnership and we should bring this to the West." Quits his job, throws a 500,000 of his own bucks into it. They start this business together. Now, the first thing is he wants to change the name to something a little bit, that translates into English
Mhm.
and has American sounding. And he decides, let's call it Red Bull.
Okay.
Instead of Red Cow, Red Bull, right? Put together focus groups. They all hate it. They think it tastes terrible.
Sure. I mean, that's, like, part of their whole deal, right? Is not
Yeah. Now, one of the things that they do, they find that when you add carbonation to it,
Mhm.
it tastes better. So they had a little bit of sugar and a little bit of carbonation, and they found it made it the taste kind of bearable, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
they spend 3 years doing on that. And then the other thing he decides is they want to premium price this. And so they design this sleek aluminum can. And they also decide to make it stand out instead of 12 ounce, which is what everybody else is doing. Let's do 8.4 ounces. Tiny
Okay.
can.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
here's the other thing a tiny can does.
Stay tuned. We're going to wrap up this story and tell you how to apply this lesson to your business right after this.
Hey, Rick, how's it going?
Great.
Great.
Yeah, I just had an amazing 90 minutes
You did?
with the host of the Empire Builders podcast.
Really?
You've heard the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I finally took him up on the starter session.
So you drank the Kool-Aid.
Guzzled it.
How did it taste?
Well, he answered those questions that were keeping me up at night. Now I know what I need to do. So it tasted like strawberries.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, and you can book your free starter session on this podcast website.
Okay, Dave. Say, and they haven't missed a thing.
Let's pick up our story where we left off, and trust me, you haven't missed a thing.
Now, here's the other thing a tiny can does, especially for an energy drink. What does a tiny can for an energy drink do? Conveys, there's a lot of power in this.
This is potent stuff.
This is
That's
potent
I mean,
stuff.
who stole the lesson from them and made an even smaller one is the 5-hour energy people,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, this is even smaller than Red Bull, be careful.
Right. Be careful. And so they hire an agency, and the agency comes up with the whole idea of Red Bull gives you wings, which is just brilliant. The first cartoon uses Da Vinci. We're going to come back to Da Vinci in a minute.
Mhm.
So it's 1987. They launch it by giving out samples in ski resorts.
Mhm.
And then they decide to take Red Bull to universities, but they really have no ad budget. So what they do is they find the popular people on campus. So they steal this idea from the beer companies, right? And they give away free product and they throw parties.
Yeah.
They give the popular people money to throw a party and give away product. Then they also decide to start giving away free product in bars,
Okay.
which also stimulates bartenders starting to make drinks with Red Bull. Now, here's the part that they do really well. When they give free product to a bar, they go into the bar ahead of time. They spread empty cans of Red Bull around the bar.
I love that so much. This is like priming the tip jar, right? You're playing the piano at the bar. Nobody's gonna tip you if the tip jar is empty
Right.
because nobody feels like they're joining in.
Nobody goes to a bar if there's not a lineup outside
So
the
there's a
bar.
bunch of empty Red Bull cans and nobody near them. You're like, "These people drank the Red Bull and they're out doing fun stuff now."
Wh-
Yeah.
What's this? What's this Red Bull? I'm seeing it everywhere. I should try one.
It's so brilliant.
Isn't that brilliant? Isn't that brilliant? First year, they sell 1,000,000 cans.
Uh-huh.
Sales double the next year. Year 3, 4,000,000 cans. So they go from 1,000,000 to 2,000,000 to 4,000,000, right? And then they go into the whole thing of sponsoring events.
Mhm.
And again, what they do is they pick events that are high energy, niche, like skating downhill and crap along that
Oh, yeah.
lines that have a little bit
Any
of danger to them.
anything with a parachute, anything where you're jumping off a ramp, uh,
Yeah.
yeah.
But the fun one is in 1992, even before they do that, because it's really 97 is when they lean into the whole events thing. But in 1992, remember I said we're gonna come back to Da Vinci?
Okay, yeah.
They invent a sport called Flutuck,
Well, Flutuck.
right? Which is basically you build a flying machine
Mhm.
and you launch it down a ramp and into a river, and the one that flies the furthest basically wins, and it has to be human powered and whatnot. And so basically, the things people are making are variations of Da Vinci crap.
Yeah.
Remember I
Yeah.
said I was coming back to
Yeah,
Da
yeah.
Vinci? Yeah, and it becomes super, super popular. This crazy event, you can see it on YouTube, and it was literally inspired by the drawings of Da Vinci. And, if you think
Nice.
about it, it's got whimsy, and it's got energy, and a
Uh-huh.
touch of danger. Fits their brand, represents energy. 97, they come to the United States, and they start sponsoring events, but initially avoid mainstream events.
Mhm.
Eventually, they end up going into mainstream events, like they own now 4 soccer clubs and they own an F1 team. They originally started with these small events. 2012 is a big breakthrough moment for them, where they sponsor the guy that does the world record, the free jump,
Oh,
where he goes
yeah,
up in the balloon
trying to
24
think his name.
miles in the
Uh,
air. But here's the other part that they figured out with that. That was streamed on YouTube.
mm,
Right? 8 million people watch this live on YouTube. So they also started to figure out is you don't need to use mainstream media if you're doing these crazy things.
mhm.
People will find you. After that, sales jumped 13% in the next 6 months.
Amazing. Yeah.
Now, they hit a little bit of bump in the road that initially was a challenge for them that became better later is that a kid died drinking Red Bull. And so there was a period there where there was a few countries that actually banned Red Bull.
Mhm. 'Cause you drink too many. Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll
Now, they eventually managed to get that ban to go away, but of course, when the ban went away, it came back stronger,
Mhm.
right? Because with young male customers, because this thing's dangerous,
Yeah. Of course.
right? The part that I find that's incredible is they've remained very focused.
Mhm.
There would be this temptation to, we see this all the time with businesses. Let's extend the brand.
Mhm.
Let's go into other things. No, they've stayed very focused. 1 or 2 products in the energy space.
Well, what I love too is they've stayed, man, they're still dancing with the one that brought them, right? They're still you can't watch a video on YouTube or Instagram or TikTok or anywhere that's anybody sort of risking their lives in some kind of a organized way without there being a Red Bull logo on the airplane, the signage right there.
The guys in those crazy squirrel flying suits,
Oh,
inevitably
sure.
one of
Yeah,
them will be Red Bull. Yeah.
absolutely. They have done mainstream mass media, right?
Yes.
I remember seeing ads for Red Bull, and
Yes.
that's where we got to know the "It'll give you wings."
Yes.
That helped spread it, but, honestly, that's probably their move to get more into, the mainstream folks that are into energy drinks that are just, working 9 to 5 office jobs or students that aren't doing, exciting things,
Right.
right?
Yes.
Just to get the attention of the people that just need to stay awake.
Yeah.
But the people that love the action sports already know about them,
Right.
and they still lean into that.
So you think about it, they purposely picked a packaging that was different than everybody else's. They
Mhm.
purposely picked something that looked premium. They then attached it to the cool kids on campus and the parties. And then they went to bars where they gave it away for free, but created this feeling that it was everywhere by scattering
Yeah.
the empty cans around. Then they invented their own whimsical sport that has a little bit of danger because, of course, you crash and everybody crashes into
Mhm.
the river. And then sponsoring other dangerous non-mainstream sports. And as you said, and we run into this all the time where people will say, well, how long should this campaign run? Forever.
Yeah. As long as people are willing to do crazy, skillful, things that we all wanna watch, the Red Bull honestly, Steven, they've driven the development of more risky game like the
Yes.
I don't think snowboarding would be what it is without Red Bull,
No. And they
right?
will
We'd just
even
still be skiing and learning on the bunny slopes, and that'd be kinda it.
yeah, and if you go even to a small, like, freestyle snowboarding event, it's sponsored by Red Bull,
Yeah, of course.
right? Like, but they have stuck to what they've danced with the one who brung them. They have
Mhm.
stuck with that and really owned that space, and, like, they are I think the next biggest one is, if I remember right, is Monster Energy, and they're like they are the 900-pound gorilla in the space. No one has really been able to make a dent in Red Bull.
But and the ones that do are the ones that are, big sodas behind them anyway, right?
Yes.
They're
Yeah,
yeah.
and they now do cliff diving and stunt flying teams and soapbox derbies and
Yeah.
all of that other stuff. Now, one of the ones that ended up becoming really interesting for them is how they got into F1. That was a
Okay.
Ford team, and Ford had been losing money forever on F1, and they bought that team for a dollar.
For a dollar.
For a dollar.
I'd have given a dollar. I wouldn't have had the money to, get
Yeah,
them to the next race, but
and now they've turned that team in fact, what's really interesting is their F1 team has become so successful, other people sponsor their team, and they're making money off their off of their team.
sure, and honestly, so I'm an F1 fan to the point of I love the HBO series,
Right,
Drive
yes,
to Survive, right?
yes,
That got me into F1, um, but I still don't like, I don't watch the races on the weekends, I wait for the series to come out to see how everything I love how they've woven a story together, but the
yes,
Red Bull story, right? They're always there.
yes,
Yeah, it's what a fun brand.
and if you think about it,
Literally a fun brand.
it is literally and that's the thing, at no point have they said, "We're fun."
Yeah.
They just are fun.
You're not
They
gonna find
just are fun.
a Red Bull book club.
No. And what's interesting, this playbook, like, especially of sponsoring, fringe things because,
Uh-huh.
A, it's less expensive. Go back to Swatch. That's what Swatch did in the early days. Now,
Yeah,
remember, it wasn't sporting events, it would be breakdancing events. It was
sure.
artistic things because Swatch was fun and artistic,
Uh-huh.
right? Same playbook.
Yeah.
Same playbook, same idea. So, this is the whole find your tribe, find your niche, and when you've got a winning campaign, run it forever.
Mhm.
Run it
Yeah.
forever. There's this temptation to change it. Don't.
Lean in. That's
Lean in
it.
and own it. Lean in and own it. So that's kind of the story of Red Bull.
I appreciate you bringing that. What an
Yeah.
empire.
Yeah. It all started giving away drinks to truck drivers in
Mhm.
rural Thailand.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for joining us on the Empire Builders Podcast.
All right. Thanks, David.
Thanks for listening to the podcast. Please share us, subscribe on your favorite podcast app, and leave us a big, fat, juicy 5-star rating and review at Apple Podcasts. And if you'd like to schedule your own 90-minute empire building session, you can do it at empirebuildingprogram.com.